Welcome to my latest travel vlog. I've been wanting to see Death Valley since I was a little kid growing up in Southern California. It's the lowest place on earth and the hottest place on earth. So it's a little intimidating thinking about traveling there. And Annie, my corgi here, who's 14 years old, does not do too well with the heat. So this is what we did.
The trip consisted of 2 days driving to the park, touring the park, and then driving to Los Angeles, where my daughter lives. There are hundreds of videos about Death Valley. Equally interesting, almost surreal, are the roads leading to it. I left late the first day and headed to Harris Ranch, where truck drivers and RVers can boondock for free. I had stayed there before. You have to learn to shield out the freeway noise, but it's a great deal, and you can't beat the location or the convenience. You can get a great steak too. Before leaving, I bought a few gallons of gas at $3.50 a gallon, the least I could do for a free night stay. I watched the sun rise over the Central Valley, headed to the Kettleman exit where there is a Starbucks. My destination was Stovepipe Wells, the first campground in Death Valley. First, you drive through the southern end of the Central Valley. You pass orange groves, oil fields, walnut and almond groves, a Frito-Lay plant, and bee farms. Then you climb over some hills toward the Mojave Desert. There's a yummy and friendly mom-and-pop coffee shop in Tehachapi, but I'd had breakfast. The immense Mojave Desert goes on forever. What looks like a sea to the left is a field of solar panels. When I drive through this terrain, I wonder, why do we worry so much about trying to survive on Mars? Why can't we just figure out how to build homes here? A lot of this land is owned by the Public Bureau of Land Management, in other words, us. There are a lot of turnoffs like this for off-road enthusiasts.
I'm in the middle of nowhere. This is called Trona Pinnacles. Little stop. There's a history marker right there. I'm about 45 minutes from Death Valley, I think. I came from that direction. And here we are. We're stopped for lunch.
This area of the country is known for its minerals. Borax was mined in Death Valley and carried by a team of 20 mules to the nearest train station. Trona is about the only town you pass through for almost 100 miles. With a population of 1,700, it has a Catholic church, Protestant church, community church, and a football team. This is where vehicles end up that don't make it across the desert. At the north end of the Searles Valley, you climb a mountain pass over 4,000 feet. Here we are at 3,000. And here we are at 4,000. Then it's a quick descent down to another valley that leads to Death Valley. Sorry about the dirty windshield. It's going to get worse. And there's the sign for 1,000 feet again. I pulled in at Panamint Springs, where they have a restaurant, a store, and gas for $4.41 a gallon. Then I headed over another pass to Stovepipe Wells. Mid-afternoon, I turned into the campground.
I filled out my information on a kiosk and I got this pass. Turns out you don't have to pick your spot before you get the pass. You just fill that information out afterwards. So now I'm going to go attach this pass to that post behind Ramsey. Don't ask me how I picked that spot. I don't really like on the very edge, but this is almost the edge.
At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, there were plenty of spots to choose from. It was about 90 degrees and we weren't used to the hot weather, so we took a shade break. In the evening, it was cool enough to leave Annie in the van, so I explored. There's a saloon, a restaurant, a gas station, and a general store. Gas was also $4.41 a gallon, but it would be nearly $5 a gallon in Furnace Creek. This was about 6 o'clock in the morning. I loved how peaceful and quiet it was.
That's west, I think. North. And east. This is the campground at Stovepipe.
By the next morning, Annie wasn't doing well. I won't go into the gory details. That's when I realized I had to see Death Valley in one day. I'd start with Furnace Creek, where they had a major visitor center, and hopefully cell service, because I needed to call the vet in Los Angeles. On the way, I passed the Mesquite Flat sand dunes. And the Devil's Cornfield. Then I headed down the valley. As you can see, I was at sea level. I passed the remnants of the Harmony Borax Works. After miles of nothing green, you see the oasis that indicates you're getting near Furnace Creek. It was still cool enough in the morning to leave Annie in the van and go see the exhibit and to get a stamp on my National Parks passport. So here's one of the lowest places in the world where you're not underwater. Unfortunately, I couldn't stop at Zabrinsky Point either. I needed to be in LA by 5 o'clock to get Annie to the vet. Even the views from the road were spectacular. I exited the park at Death Valley Junction. From there, it's 175 miles of desert to Victorville. Or you could turn left and go to Las Vegas. You don't want to blink when you're driving through Death Valley Junction or you'll miss it. I wish I had time to see the inside of the Amargosa Opera House. There are videos showing that it's just beautiful and ornate. Hard to imagine from the outside. The Spanish named what we call the Badwater River going through Death Valley, Amargosa, which means bitter. Before reaching Shoshone, I stopped here to give Annie a break and just to feel how alone I was. Shoshone is a little oasis. They have a medical center here, so if something happens to you while you're in Death Valley, they send you here. Population 31, huge town. Baker was a welcome sight after no trees or greenery for almost 60 miles. You can't pass through Baker without stopping at the Mad Greek Cafe for a fresh strawberry milkshake. In Barstow, I pulled in for gas. At $3.19 a gallon, it seemed like a bargain. On these long desert roads, you don't want an empty tank. The next and last stop before you hit the mountains is Victorville. Then before you know it, you're going over the mountains, passing through San Bernardino, and you hit LA. We made it to the vet with an hour to spare. The next road trip will be to the Redwoods, where it's a little bit cooler. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.